The other thing I did was I went and I watched Nope, the latest Jordan Peele film.
God damn it.
I've heard good shit about that.
God damn it.
Why are you so mad, bro?
Because in Japan, movies come out like 6 months after everywhere else in the world.
Okay, okay. Well, don't worry. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna.
no. No. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. The marketing deliberately is trying to dodge giving you information about this movie, and I'm going to stick in line with the marketing,
I know only the most barest of the premise.
which is what they want you to know going into it. So that's pretty good. What I will say is, um,
Arr.
putting it in. I think it's what I like
You're all
is
right there,
you.
Pat.
All right.
I'm gonna choke on water. Oh no!
You know, the new Herman Miller Embody also has a nice little curve for self Heimlich if ever needed. You can lean right over that. So it's good to go.
Sometimes I just choke on nothing. You ever choke on nothing?
No, but I've seen you choke on nothing many times.
What? How come only me?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, so I don't know if have you seen Peele's other movies, Get Out or Us?
I've seen them.
Okay.
I have not.
Okay.
You haven't? Okay.
Well, I've told you about them.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I've told you about them. Get Out's great. It's, you know, like, again, racial anxiety horror is the best way to describe that. And Us, similar, but then a little more zoomed out. And I will say that, like, I loved Get Out. Us, I liked as well, but I feel like parts of what makes these movies strong is kind of like knowing what they're referencing, knowing what they're going for. You know, Get Out in particular has a really, it has a really great way of like reaching in and kind of like if you've had uh, awkward racial experiences with people, like if you're you know this movie knows it targets those things and goes like, okay, what if we took that to 11 and then 12. The Boondocks also is a fucking masterwork at like nailing that awkwardness. The opening scene of the first episode with the garden party where Riley is complimented for speaking so well
Right.
is like comes to mind, you know. Yeah, it's really great at that, and of course I'm fucking I'm a enjoy seeing that depicted. But
I can't believe how intensely Boondocks nailed that, because you mentioning the Boondocks garden party set off a series of like brain signals that have me wondering if we have any cheese in the fridge right now.
sure, sure. I mean,
In the
yeah,
Boondocks sound like, what? Yeah.
it's just it basically just like yeah, like bunch of
I know
awkward
what it's about.
yeah,
Yeah.
awkward people being awkward around black people and just how to deal with that or not for that
Right.
matter. In this case, the titular "get out" says get the fuck out of there. So that's great. Us, I feel like parts of Us didn't land with me because there's a big aspect to it that requires you to understand something very American, like you know, like I feel like a big part of the where that movie goes and its like premise is like there's like some stuff that happened in the 80s in America that I'm like, I'm Canadian, I have no idea what those things are, but if you explain it, okay, cool, I'm gonna follow along. But as a result of like leaning heavily onto that, it didn't land as hard. Um,
Yeah,
but
I was a bit lukewarm on Us
mm,
myself. Yeah.
um, and of course, yes, it's called US, so that is not lost in its
Oh, like
uh,
the America. I get it.
but Nope, I can say is fantastic in that it it continues the flavor of like what's great about Peele movies, but it also is him avoiding getting M. Night Shyamalan. Do you know what I mean? Like M. Night
Yeah, by making a
Shyamalan,
movie that looks like Signs but isn't Signs.
or even Sixth Sense, where like he was put on the map for the twist, and then the twist became
Yeah.
the punchline, and now it's self-parody, right? And I feel like Nope is a graceful sidestep of what would become the Peele punchline, by going into just something that is just more a more generalized unknowable horror type
So
of
wait, are you saying that the twist to this movie is not racism?
It's not. There is racism, and it does exist in components and
Yeah,
establishing
of course.
setup, but it is not, in fact, the main thing.
Because Get Out was, even not having seen it, I'm fully aware that the twist wasn't racism lowercase. You thought it was going to be racism with the capital, but it in fact was racism in all capitals, which is its own super twist.
It is. I mean, and for that reason, like, it's gonna be hard to top, because the journey through Get Out to the end credits is one of like, I never would have expected that, and I don't think I can get that recreated. And nor should it. So thankfully, this is not trying to do that. But I do really enjoy that. Like, this is just about the type of thing that I find legitimately scary in the unknown, the unknowable horror, not necessarily the out and out understandable like evil man with the knife coming to get you, but the mystery of the Amigara fault,
Right.
that sinkhole that opened up in the ground, that horrible shit that's like, what the fuck is, what is in there, what is that, right? That's what gets me. And as a result, I feel, with horror movies, with survival horror, with a lot of that in general, it really is mostly misses for me, occasional hits. And I've talked much about how I love, like, of course, Alien and the way it plays with not seeing the fucking thing. Obviously Jaws is incredible at that too. But yeah, in this case, it's similar in it's that unknown weird shit is played well here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna jump in here, and you described that your experience with horror has a lot of misses. As somebody who absolutely adores the horror genre in games and film, let me tell you right now, the reason why there are so many misses for you is that horror fucking sucks on the average. Horror movies and horror games on average are kind of terrible. It's really hard. It's really, really hard to make a good one.
It's par for the
So yeah,
course.
most of it's trash. Like, think of how many fucking Halloween movies there are. Are any of them good? I'm gonna go with maybe.
I haven't seen any.
Maybe some of them are good.
I mean,
I feel like there's like a guaranteed quantity of people who are gonna like watch horror movies anyways, and they're usually sort of cheap to make.
Mhm.
So, like,
Yeah, the criteria.
as long as you can get a few scares in there, it's a movie.
right.
That's what I was saying last week about Madison. The bar is, did I go and throw my popcorn up at any point? For most people, the answer is yes. That means good horror movie, scary. Ooh.
Yeah, if you like, a jump scare is just the like it a cheap jump scare will actively annoy me and make me enjoy it less.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that it's isn't it the same with comedy movies too?
Yeah, comedy is
Really
hard.
good
Therefore,
comedy.
most of it's trash.
That, I mean, it's been a while.
But people
since
have-
there's- It's been a
People
while
have
since a
low
solid
threshold
one.
for comedy.
Yeah, and then again, I feel like Well, I mean, movies as a whole, as an industry, is also like taking a very weird hit, and I don't know if comedy.
Actually.
I don't know if like the comedy movie will return. It might, but like, it kind of feels like it was The Hangover and sequels for a while there. But yeah, something like a fucking, I don't know, like an Anchorman or so. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see any of those anytime soon.
You know what?
I don't know.
We have somewhat of an expert on the show today in Ludvig, because you are surrounded by instruments right now. So I'm gonna say that you can be the show's expert on music and sound in general. I think I could speak fairly conclusively about a lot of games, and across the three of us, we can talk about movies. I'm just gonna go ahead and say almost everything just sucks. It's like all of it. Like if you were to listen to 100 random songs, most of them would be fucking terrible.
None of this matters. Nothing matters. I think there's gems out there, but like it's just gonna be a bit harder to find as time goes on. And in some cases it'll come from, like smaller studio, smaller budget, smaller ideas that get that shit together. I was talking about how much I loved Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's a great example of it was like an A24 film, I want to say, where
great example of a critic's darling.
And you
Great
can see,
example of another movie that we still don't know when it's coming out in Japan. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Or maybe they announced it, but it's still not out.
But yeah, it's going to come from less established sources, I think, going forward. But all that to say that Nope is it's really solid, and there's a lot of fun, I guess, like reference dissecting going on in that sense. Like Peele is kind of like a Tarantino in how he's like putting a bunch of overt and then also really like subdued, like, did you catch that fucking reference to like this particular thing or this particular scene, this movie, whatever it was. And in some cases it's like, oh, there's a little shot here that resembles like the kids hiding from the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, and then but at the same time, here's a dude wearing a hoodie that says the fucking Scorpion King on it. So like it's going all over with the references and such.
Do you think there's any possibility that in the next Peele movie we can get a Reservoir Dogs style diner scene in which multiple characters are sitting around discussing how underrated In Living Color was?
I don't imagine that'll happen. I don't see
because
it.
that's what I want.
I don't see that happening, nor do I see a 40-second zoom in on feet. However, who knows? Because I think with this, Peele is kind of going like, okay, don't box me in too much. I can do some other stuff, and it also is the type of, like I said, it's the type of horror that worked for me. I was actively afraid of the thing while I was watching the story, and I feel like when I was walking out and talking to Punch Mom about it, I was like, there's so few things that give me that feeling, that which of the titular, like, nope, don't want to know, nothing to do with that, get that shit away from me, that exact like reaction. Does a really good job with that as well. So I would recommend it. And no, you don't have to go back and see the trilogy to actually appreciate any of this. But it is just it's a fun go to the restaurant and go to the diner after the movie and talk about all the shit because there's a lot going on. Did you catch this? Did you catch that? Da, 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 da. And it's going to be big for rewatching as well, definitely.
Mm-hmm.